Tony, deadline day yesterday. How do you feel about it? Obviously, you've been sort of saying that you wanted players in. Got two. But
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I think everybody around the football club will be disappointed. There's no hiding the fact that there was players that we wanted to bring in to the football club that we've not been able to bring into the football club. There was areas of the team that, ever since I joined the football club, which was 13, 14 months ago, that I've wanted to strengthen. And unfortunately, we've not been able to do that again. It's been a window where, in some respects, it's made the team a little bit weaker than stronger. When you think of Danny going back, that's left us, Danny going to Stoke has left us a little bit weaker there. Mikel and Van Le Par are good signings and will help us at the back end of the season, I'm sure. But no, disappointed.
Is that the biggest emotion for you this morning, disappointment? Well,
there's a disappointment. I've had 3 windows here and I've signed 3 permanent players. There's been McNair, Saville and Flint have been the 3 permanent players. I think I've signed 7 or 8 players on loan. Which you're hoping and praying that you'd do more than that. Listen, I've got to say 2 things. I think the club has got an exceptional person in charge with Steve. I think if Steve, the money he's put into this football club and what he's done with this football club has been extraordinary. And for one individual to back the club the way he's backed the football club, there's absolutely no criticism whatsoever in that area. I think it's a little bit deja vu if you look at the club, and I'm looking back at the history. I think Tony Mowbray got caught in a very similar position where he had to come in when the finances weren't brilliant, and had 2 years really clearing everything out and having to cut back on stuff. And it's something that the club hopefully will never ever do again. They'll never ever fall into this position again. It's been done. You can't do nothing about it. I'll have to say this about the squad. I think the squad are absolutely fantastic. I put some stats down. The group of players, I think they were 9th when I came into the football club. We've been in when we got in the top 6. From that period to today, we've never been outside the top 6. The club has made a profit, big profit on transfers. We've cut the wage bill. The players deserve an absolute, real roaring well done for what they've done. I think we've got a good group. I think the group has got to understand. Yesterday at 4 o'clock, I took all my staff down the pub and we had a pint. We knew then that there was nothing going to happen, and I had a good chat with them. We'll have a good chat with the players today about the situation. And I want the supporters and everybody else at this football club to get behind the group. They're a wonderful group. From January to January, if you were going, we'd be top of the league. We haven't brought what we wanted to bring in, but it's still a good group, and the group hopefully will get us through. Fingers crossed.
I know you're saying there that it seems to go in cycles. You mentioned Tony Mowbray, so having a couple of years here. I mean, are you prepared to do that job, or are you?
I've got, like I say, great respect for Steve. I think the situation with the football club is the situation with the football club. I've not. I was a young manager. I've dealt with these situations before, and the credit, I think, is always about results on the football pitch. And I think I said in my programme notes when Blackburn came here, Tony Mowbray didn't get enough credit at this football club for what he did and how he achieved it with everything that was going on behind the scenes. And I really meant that. And there's managers out there who right a lot of wrongs but don't get the success on the pitch because of the reasons that they're wrongs. And those people never get the praise that they deserve. Tony was definitely one of those people. We have to do that. We have to balance it. I think it's out there. I think everybody knows. You've got a situation where we've got Stuart in limbo a little bit, because if we play him another game, he goes on to a different level of wages. So I don't think it's a secret where we are. What we've got to do now, everybody, is get behind the chairman, get behind the football club, the players. The players have got to roll their sleeves up and make sure that we give it our damnedest now, from now until the end of the season.
I know you were saying at 4 o'clock yesterday you knew nothing was going to happen. Where did that message come from? Did you speak to Steve yesterday?
No, I've wasn't in. There's, people come in to the football club. Steve didn't come in, but there's other people here who do the business and other stuff. But I knew pretty early on, I think, that it wasn't going to happen. And like I said, I took the lads down there. We had a quick pint and just sorted them out. Because everybody was hoping and praying that we could make those maybe 2 or 3 signings. And it didn't happen. It hasn't happened. And you have to get on with it. We have to now roll our sleeves up. The football club is a fantastic football club. A great group of supporters here who will be really disappointed that nothing has happened. They make no bones about it. But they have to understand and they have to recognise that Steve Gibson, when the money's been there, Steve has given people the money. He's given everything. And, you cannot, and I will never ever criticise a person who's put so much money into the football club. What we've got to do now is make sure that we get the players at it, we get everybody at it, and we all stick together as a group. And let's push on and give it the best we can give it.
Last one on this. Are you angry that the money isn't there for you? I mean, presumably when you came into the club, you'll have been pitched the job. I'm sure there'll have been discussions about transfers and signings. Are you angry now that it hasn't sort of been followed through?
No, not angry. Disappointment more than anything else, but also disappointment in reflection of seeing what money has been spent 18 months ago or whatever it was. I think Steve spent over 50 odd million pounds, and the wages and everything else that goes along with that. It's just extra, as I've said before, it's extraordinary. And the club is, paying for it at the moment. That's the facts. Let's not kid ourselves. But having said that, like I say, the team, since we've got in the top 6, have never been out of the top 6. They've kept going. They're a good group. Yeah, we lack, like I say, the ingredients that we need, I think, to get to that next step. But if you play as a team, work as a team, and you're committed, then we got as good a chance as anyone else if everybody pulls together. And I mean everybody, and we need everybody pulling together.
That was going to be my next question, about whether or not you felt you could still challenge for promotion. Presumably you do, and that's the message to supporters. We're like I say, we've got the lads in today. We'll work and preparing on what is a very, very tough test against the Albion on Saturday. We know how difficult that will be. So the next 10 days are going to be difficult with the games that we've got coming up. But you relish them. I do as a manager. I'm wanting the players relish them as players, and we'll go out there and give our best. And West Brom did strengthen yesterday. They're obviously, they've got a really, really good team, having just come down from the Premier League. So does that make the match even harder for you because they were active yesterday?
No, it was going to be hard anyway. I think that they've got one of the best people I've met in football in charge, Darren Moore. He's an absolute wonderful lad. If there's anybody that I would want to be successful and want to do well in his job and in his role, would be Darren. I had him as my captain at Portsmouth going back a million years. He was fantastic then. When I was there, Sam Fields made his debut, Raheem made his debut, Jonathan Leaco made his debut, and they were all recommendations from Darren. Darren has picked those players, so it's nice that he's bringing some of the kids through. But they've got real quality, as I've said before. I think I've gone on record. I still say if Gary had got the job, Gary Megson had got the job, I don't think West Brom would have gone down.
I know Jacob Murphy was linked with coming to Middlesbrough. He went to West Brom instead. Were you ever close on that one?
No, what happened, and I don't want to go into that.
Okay. And yeah, that's
That's it for me.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
I'm doubling up today, so.
Yeah.
With regards to going back to West Brom, how are you feeling going back to the Hawthorns?
Well, there's a lot of people there that I like, a lot of people there in the staff and around the place who were really good to me. Mark Jenkins, who was just back in there as chief executive. Mark was with Jeremy. I thought brilliant at their jobs. And, you know, Jeremy was a tough cookie, and financially, blimey, was he tough. But Mark was a great buffer for him with me. I've got a lot of respect for Mark. He's a good guy, but he knows his job, and he'll be looking after that football club like it's his own property. And then I've spoken about Boro, and I've spoken, you know, the staff, the medical staff, and everybody else, the players. I'll take some stick, I should imagine, from the supporters, but then who doesn't anymore from supporters? That's the way it is, and you know you've got to take that on the chin. But I had a great time there. A great football club, lovely people, and some very, very happy memories.
Team news just ahead of that. Have you got any players coming back, or what's the?
No, we'll make sure now that we look after the group that we've got. I also want to say a big thank you to Danny Barr. Danny was absolutely fantastic for us as a player and a character around the place. Grant, again, you know, what a wonderful professional he was. I wish Chappie all the best. He needed to play, Chappie. The two young kids who've gone out, you know, they're both, you know, Ripley needed to play. So that, you know, they're all out, and obviously then we've got the four young ones who have gone out as well. It's a great experience. I hope they grasp it and take it on and come back a bit like Wingy, better players, more mature players. So we've had quite a few going out, and you know that's it from me, all over. Let's get on with doing the job now for the rest of the season. Thank you.